I use a lot of fragrances throughout the course of a month, but these are the bangers I've been reaching for a bit more than the rest lately. I finally bought a new bottle of one of the best Dior's, and I have a high compliment combo for you. Several fragrances that are so good, I bought backup bottles of them and more. So make sure you like, subscribe and save this video. There are basically two reasons why I've been reaching for these two Acqua Di Gios quite a bit lately. Number one, they are both absolutely fantastic and easily among some of the most versatile freshens around. Number two, and this is the tough one, I've been trying to decide which of these two Acqua Di Gio Profondos is the best. Let me know in the comments if you tried both of these and which of them you think is the best. The original is easily among some of my most complimented fresh marine scents ever. You basically get a nuanced kind of freshness and the whole thing is softly woody. Almost a guaranteed compliment getter, but mostly when someone gets a bit close to you. To my nose, they definitely changed things quite a bit with the newer Eau de Toilette and made the whole thing a bit lighter and in a way also a bit more sort of airy fresh. Acqua Di Gio Profondo Eau de Toilette, at least to my nose, is more citrusy fresh. I also feel it definitely has a bit more woodiness to it, and a very noticeable difference, at least to my nose, is that the Eau de Toilette has a more noticeable dose of a gorgeous lavender, which I'm not getting in the same way in the original. So next up, a fantastic fragrance I'm so happy that I finally bought a new bottle of. You have a gorgeous dose of iris in here, and I do feel that the iris in Dior Homme original brings it a bit of powderiness. However, I do not feel this is as powdery as some of the other ones in the line. That iris is combined with a fantastic dose of aromatic freshness, and the whole thing is softly woody and also a bit ambery, and I'm also picking up on a soft dose of sweetness. This is my second bottle of Dior Homme original. I waited way too long to buy a new one. This is so masculine, so sexy, and at least to my nose, definitely among the best takes on that Dior Homme DNA. So from a unique take on iris to what I think is a unique take on marine freshness. The use of seaweed definitely brings this quite a unique kind of marine freshness. That marine freshness is made even fresher and brighter with a dose of ginger and a dose of salt. So you're basically getting this intense and nuanced kind of marine, spicy and salty freshness. And that freshness sits on top of what I think is quite a smooth dose of woodiness. I know its unique freshness and intense performance can be a bit too much for some, but this on a warm summer day is a fantastic experience. And yeah, the dent on my bottle of Issey Miyake Le Sel de Issey, the Eau de Toilette, is getting bigger by the week. So next up we have this thing right here, and pretty much every single time I spray this thing on, I keep thinking that I should probably upgrade my rating of it. Narcisse is basically a mix of bergamot, musk and tonka bean. So you're basically getting a prominent dose of freshness, a prominent dose of vanilla, and the whole thing is a bit powdery. But there's definitely something more to it, and I'm picking up on a soft sort of a floral touch to it. It's definitely a bit ambery, and I also feel it's quite sweet. And even though they pretty much removed, at least to my nose, the coconut from Le Beau Narcisse, I still feel this is a banger of a scent. It has solid performance, it gets noticed quite often, and when it gets noticed, it usually lands a compliment or two. But more important than all of that, there's something quite addictive about Le Beau Narcisse. So next up we have a fragrance I recently bought, and pretty much the moment after I put my nose to it, I ended up buying a backup bottle of it. This thing has such an intense summery vibe, but more of a tropical fresh kind of vibe. You get pineapple, coconut and tonka bean, so right there you know this thing is gonna be quite sweet. And that super creamy coconut, sweet pineapple and sweet vanilla is blended with a fantastic dose of freshness, and the whole thing is softly and creamy woody. But what really separates Klein's Tropical Escape from other sort of a similar coconutty and sweet scents is a floral dose with jasmine and heliotrope. And the floor side of Tropical Escape, at least to my nose, brings the whole thing something quite addictive. I featured this in my tropical fresh fragrances video, so make sure you check that video out. I'm gonna link to it somewhere up here in the pinned comment and in the description below. So next up we have this. It's so affordable and so insanely good in such a fantastic fresh way. And yeah, I ended up buying a backup bottle of Poolside edition. You get a super smooth and slightly sweet kind of citrusy freshness from here, made even sort of fresher and brighter with a salty accord. And it's probably that salty accord that gives it this gorgeous, airy, almost marine-like kind of freshness. That freshness is combined with a dose of fresh apple, and the whole thing, at least to my nose, is softly woody. So Tommy Poolside edition is basically a combination of freshness, fruitiness and woodiness. So I paid a bit less than 40 bucks for my bottle of it, but according to some of you in the comments of my review, it managed to find it for less than 20 bucks, which to me is insane. This is such an easy and happy kind of freshness to spray on, so it's really hard to stay away from it, and I'm not sure you can see this, but the dent is getting bigger by the week. So I have a comparison of Polo 67, the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum coming up really soon, and it was so hard to decide which of the two I think is the best. But with that said, I've definitely been reaching for the Eau de Toilette a lot more. You get a fantastic dose of sweet pineapple together with what I feel is probably among some of the best, or at least most intoxicating doses of aromatic freshness around. It's sweet pineapple and it's a nuanced kind of freshness sits on top of what I think is a creamy woody base. There's something so intoxicating about Polo 67, the Eau de Toilette, and this is going to sound weird, but I almost had to tell myself to pull down on my use of it in order to enjoy the other fragrances in my collection. I gave this a 9 in my review. It's an absolute banger, a top compliment getter, and a fragrance I've been enjoying quite a bit lately. I got a banger combo coming up soon, but let's continue with this. And in a way, this actually reminds me a bit of one of the ones in the upcoming combo, but I also feel it's a bit different. And in a nutshell, it's mostly about a fantastic dose of aromatic freshness and brightness combined with a gorgeous dose of creamy coconut, and the whole thing is a bit woody. And what makes it so intoxicating is that, at least to my nose, its aromatic freshness is quite nuanced, and the coconut is incredibly creamy and gorgeously sweet. So Eternity for Men Aromatic Essence from Calvin Klein is pretty much a must if you absolutely love aromatic freshness, mostly coming from lavender, and if you absolutely love the scent of coconut. So moving on to this, and I'm pretty sure Prada are not watching my videos, but if you are, please, this is the kind of scent you really need to bring back. It's among my most used Luna Rossas, and it's also among my most complimented. You get an intense dose of citrus, a fantastic dose of fresh lavender, and the whole thing is made even fresher and brighter thanks to a dose of ginger. And the drawdown is basically where the whole thing starts to get softly woody. Now, I'm not sure, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something in here, in its freshness, that to my nose is softly powdered. Maybe it's the lavender, but there's something absolutely fantastic about the freshness in here. And this is a fragrance I've been enjoying quite a bit lately. So it's time for that high compliment combo, and the first part of that combo is the coconutty and aromatic fresh Born Aroma Purple Melancholia. And you basically get a fantastic dose of fresh lavender, a super creamy, almost milky kind of coconut, and the whole thing is a bit woody and ambery. And Purple Melancholia basically gives me a fantastic dose of coconut, but coconut done in a way I actually feel is quite different compared to the other ones I have in my collection. I absolutely love using Purple Melancholia on its own. However, sometimes I want to make it more intensely bright and fresh, and that's when this combo absolutely crushes it, because I basically boost the aromatic freshness of Purple Melancholia with the intense, bright, minty and aromatic freshness of this. The way the minty freshness and aromatic heart of White Ice Cologne goes together with the aromatic freshness and the creamy coconut of Purple Melancholia is absolutely insane. And in a nutshell, White Ice Cologne basically makes Purple Melancholia a lot more fresh. What an insane and addictive compliment getting combo this is, and I highly recommend you to try both if you have them. Drop a like and subscribe, thank you, I really do appreciate it. Let me know if you tried any of these and what you think of them, and please do share in the comments if you have any fragrances in your collection that you've been reaching for a bit more than the rest.